Well, I don't mind telling you, this makes no damn sense to me. And I hate to be the one drawing a blank on Final Jeopardy. But right now, folks just need me to look like I got all the answers. The questions, they come later, along with the grieving. Then, after a little time, folks will lose their hankering for the questions. Fact is, a few of them in high places get downright evasive about it. I never do quit. It's a bad habit. I'm just a sheriff after all, not some forensic detective like on that CSI. Thought I had it the worst when the Ravens came around years ago. Was an ugly time for Kingsmouth. Not the kind that makes it to the news. The kind we keep inside. Now, I see those Ravens are all back in town. They with you? Or should I bring them in for questioning? If you're planning on striking out of town, Kingsmouth hospitality dictates I gotta set you right. And I need you to keep this on the down low. But there's worse out there than our undead problem. Worse than anything that shuffles along on two legs, that's for sure. I'm about as pleased as can be that I didn't catch a better look. Could be the kind of thing that gives a nightmare nightmares. You want to stay in the light. Keep out of the trees, out of the fog. We got a few folks left holding out across the island. Well, that was last time I could check, and I'm an optimist. Pays to see the donut, not the hole. Red's Shack at Tolba Bay, the Innsmouth Academy, the Wabanaki Indian Grounds. They should still be safe. Could be the others like you, that wolf fella, have set up camp out there. Toasting marshmallows and such. And steer clear of the pumpkin patch, eh? Just a feeling. Guess you could say I got lucky. Around the time this mess kicked off, I was up at the old lighthouse checking in on Sam Krieg, Maine's best-selling export. Oh sure, we do that fancy book learning around these parts too. Never much cared for horror stories or the man himself. Waving a rifle around in a dressing gown, juiced up, heck of a disturbance of the peace. Well, turns out that was the last of the piece. I gotta write this down, Sheriff. This is goddamn manna from heaven, he says to me when the fog let go. I left him magnuming that opus and hightailed it back to town. Tried to bring Ellie Franklin with me, but Kingdom Coming couldn't pry her from that mansion. Real monster house in the West Island. You can't miss it. I'd appreciate you letting them know we're still here, for when they're done playing survivalists. You sure you want to be talking to me about all this stuff? I mean, I'm probably flattered that you think I'm in on it all. Truth is, I'm always the last to be invited to the midnight meetings at Town Hall. Reckon I must be all thumbs when it comes to secret handshakes. I know this island's cut from a different cloth. A damn weird cloth. Sure as there's a difference between being homely and being plain stupid. Take it from me, no one around these parts is a dope. Not all the time. Everybody knows, or knows someone who knows. Salem's got nothing on us. We had an episode with torches and pitchforks only 25 years ago now. But my job, I gotta do it wearing this police jacket. Not a robe and a wizard hat. Don't make me have to file another missing persons report, okay?
The Lady Margaret was a traumatic experience for everyone on board. They were changed men when they came back. I visited with all of them in the days following their return. In my office, there are detailed transcripts of our sessions. I'm afraid it all happened so fast that day there was no time to pack. I hope they may shed some light on what happened out there.
There's nothing like the confines of a cubicle or a packed subway to give a man perspective. I was so caught up in the grind of office politics and the endless hunt for affirmation and money, I didn't realize I was getting sick. Friend, I was no more lithe than those things out there, and a sight less mobile. The disease that grew inside me was as black as theirs. Freedom lies in being bold, said Robert Frost. So, I boldly quit my job and traded my rent-controlled apartment on Christopher Street for a vintage Harley and an old poncho. Found my salvation in the open road, and I haven't looked back since. Travel in the open country, you learn to be prepared for whatever the land throws your way. Faced with the elements, you gain a new appreciation and respect for nature. You come to accept how small and insignificant you truly are. Nature is neither good or evil. It just is. There's nothing natural about the storm that rolled in on Solomon Island, or the fog that followed. There was evil in that fog, whispering to everyone in its path. The townsfolk followed the fog back into the sea, as if possessed. It was Deputy Gardner, Andy, saved my life. He grabbed hold of me when the fog got into my head, tied a rope around us both, kept walking the other way. It was like the whispers didn't get to him. When I finally got my wits back, the fog had rolled back out again to where it is now. We shook hands, and we started looking for survivors and building this fortress. That man saved my life, selflessly, and I love him for it. I'd go to the ends of the world and back for Andy. I don't think I'll ever win him over, though. Living on the razor's edge of society, your eyes open up to the possibility that there's something more to this world. Something most people are too blind or too preoccupied to notice, even if it's right under their noses, and has been all along. I only noticed small things at first. Roads that appeared and disappeared, folks who traveled by way of gates drawn in chalk on brick walls, houses bigger on the inside than on the outside, magic trinkets sold at yard sales, street shamans capable of taking out the cancer inside you. But it wasn't until I found myself face to face with werewolves in New Orleans that I realized there's a secret war going on. After that, I couldn't escape it. I saw signs and sigils everywhere. I met recruiters for the Templars, Illuminati, and the Dragon. They all seemed to think I'd make a useful operative. I tell them I take no sides, that I'd be little use to them. But the United Against Darkness thing I can get behind. We're all in this together, and we've all got work to do. Andy and Helen, Deputy Gardner, Sheriff Bannerman, they're the reason I stayed behind when I could have just gone. I know the secret roads. I know how to ride out of here, through places the fog can't touch. But folks like them and the rest of the survivors here in Kingsmouth deserve better. I'm not putting you on the spot here, friend. I know you got other places to be, other wars to fight, which is why it's doubly important I stay behind. There's an honesty and an innocence to these people, and they genuinely know and care about one another. Of course, I can't claim total selflessness. My heart's gone soft for Andy. And even if he'll never feel the same way for me, as long as this heart's beating, I won't let any harm come to him. I've spent the better part of 2 decades on the road, my friend. And I've learned that there's not a loose bolt these hands can't tighten, not a broken transmission they cannot fix. You give me a handful of nails and some wood, and I'll build you a house. When the undead came marching up Main Street just a day or 2 after the fog pulled back, we did our best to prepare for the worst. Andy and me, with the help of the rest of the good folk here, built ourselves something better than a house. We built a castle. It won't hold forever, but as long as we're breathing, as long as we believe in salvation, with or without help from the likes of you, we will walk tall and stand firm. Good talking to you.